Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Show to Be with Mike G, the show of life, the show of whiskey, fatherhood, being an Aquarius, having issues and solving them and working through them, and so much more. Today's guest is Charlie Moore of Woodford Reserve, a historical man in the cocktail scene of Dallas. He is a bourbon lover, a great father, and there's some great candid moments here. Sometimes I never know what to expect when I go in to talk to a guest. Charlie is a fellow Aquarian, and I think we're both incredibly transparent, and we look at things that maybe we're trying and tough, and to other people may even seem controversial, you could say. It doesn't bother us. We don't lose any sleep over these things, and we talk about them freely, and there's lots of moments here, and I really appreciate Charlie's candidness and his transparency about his addiction. I think it's something that's very important for all of us to kind of talk about. So, without further ado, and over a great Glendronach 18, I hope you guys enjoy this great chat with Charlie Moore of Woodford Reserve. Oh, that's right.
Rain. So going from like bright, sunshiny Florida into like this dreary drive from Dallas to Austin. I mean, check stop helps, but it doesn't. That, yeah. So that I got here and I was like, guys, what's up? And I didn't respond for a bit, and I was like, sorry, y'all. Yeah, I'm just real tired. And now Turner and Tober and Luke have been giving me hell all morning.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm still tired. But yeah, made it to Nickel City and a few places before that too with the guys, and then yeah, was there left about 12:30. So
that's
responsible.
Not bad. Okay, that's reasonable because it's almost 12 hours later now, roughly.
Yeah.
You're all recouped, which is a good thing. And it sounds like you don't make it into Austin very much. In fact, you had to make an excuse to come in, which is always a good reason.
Yeah. I don't get down here as much as I'd like to. But yeah, I'm hopefully going to change that. So,
but you got that vibe. I mean, the crew and all that.
Yeah. It's we're all Texans.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of things I wanted to ask you about, but I'm going to go delve into the Aquarian note for a minute because we're both amazing people, obviously, self-evident.
Obviously, yes.
Do you? I get in trouble sometimes for being too cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like not really getting pissed about stuff and just kind of like
No, it drives Kelly, my baby mama. It drives her nuts because I don't get upset about many things. I mean, the only thing that really gets me is like if you slap me in my face.
Right.
I turn into a different person if you hit me in the face.
Different deal, right?
Like all bets are off then.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm just a really cool person.
Cool
and calm, like not conceited, like I'm so hip and cool, but
temperament, right?
Yeah, like I'm a very chill, laid back person. Always have been, always will be. So,
do you have any kind of creative outlets? I didn't notice that you played music. Did you write or anything like that?
I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple in the room.
I know, but it still intimidates me. It's like there's so many strings and I don't know what buttons to push or what to do on this thing.
I like that you called it buttons.
Yeah.
That is cute to me.
See, I know like zero. I know negative about guitar playing. So, no, I mean, I was a bartender for 15 years, and that was always my creative outlet, like making cocktails and doing all that. So, now it's just like program creation, like activation creation, stuff like that for the brand. Yeah. But even then, it's like, I still need something. Like I need a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, being father is kind of a hobby. Right?
Yeah. That's
bound to keep you pretty busy.
Yeah, she does keep me really busy. Yeah. She's about to be 4, so she's kind of an asshole. she's sometimes a terrible person, but she's really, really cute. So like it kind of balances out in the end.
That is the one thing that I've understood about kids. I don't have kids, but when they're great, they're really great.
Yeah.
But when they're horrible, they're horrible.
Terrible. They're terrible.
So I don't know where that leaves you. You know, it's like you gain like you make $1,000 and then you lose $800.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, it's still a pretty rewarding thing.
I'm still coming out ahead every day.
Yeah,
like,
good.
You know, when that kid goes down to bed, or when I come home and she's already sleeping, like, you know, that kiss goodnight, or when I wake up in the morning and she's like, "Good morning, Daddy." Those are like the sweetest things in the world.
Yeah.
But there are times when I'm like, man, what am I doing here?
Dude, I mean, I admire anybody that can be a father. You know, dogs are easy, cats are easy, kids smelly, and they're loud. Yeah. But I guess there's those moments, like you said, where you're like, man, I really fucking appreciate this kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's charming.
Like hearing the "I love you" for the first time, like that was something. Man. Like ever since then, I've just been like, all right, I'm wrapped around your little finger, whatever you want. And yeah, it was rough. Like I really, really wanted a boy so bad, like somebody to continue on my name and all that stuff, like the legacy. And then we were sitting there in a sonogram, and she's the nurse or whatever said, "Oh, it's a girl," and I started crying. I was upset. I was mad.
Really?
And it was. I look back on it now, and I was like, that was the dumbest thing in the world. Because like the second I saw my daughter, everything changed, and I was just like so happy that I had a girl. Like she's wonderful. She's really cute. She's funny. She's hilarious. She's a ball of energy, and you know I'll have that. Hopefully for like when I grow old, she'll be taking care of me. So.
That's the plan, right?
Yeah.
Built-in retirement. Right there. Always a bed to crash in.
Yeah. But if I would have had a son, you know, like sons grow up and then they get married, start their own family, and you never really see them. Like it's weird. I rarely talk to my father.
Really?
Yeah, it's not like a bad thing. No, it's just, I mean, we're dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like my mother, she's always calling me all the time. She's an amazing grandmother. She has 8 other grandchildren. But I'm pretty sure, and it's not a secret in my family that Perry, my daughter, is the favorite. But
of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be the favorite?
Because she's the cutest.
Did you ever, fancy yourself a father? I mean,
always.
Was that part of the plan? That was
always. Okay. Yeah, I always wanted to be a dad. I have a great father.
Yeah.
He's an amazing guy he did anything he could for us. And, just like growing up with him in my life, I always wanted my chance to do that too.
Yeah. So. It's a noble thing, man. Yeah. It's a profession in itself.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that, it feels like your career has evolved and turned into this thing. And now you're out there, you're in front of the people, you're on stage, you're captivating them with your every word. I mean, you've got this amazing portfolio of Woodford stuff and Brown Foreman stuff. I mean, you got Glendronach. Is that the right way to say that? Yeah.
Yes, Glendronach, yeah.
So you got a great arsenal of stuff to go on.
I do. I'm very lucky.
So the thing for me that it was hard to assess, I guess you could say, is this narrative makes a lot of sense once you get to Dallas. But up until 99, when you're graduating in Iowa, graduating high school in Iowa, what was that piece like? Were you an athletic kid? Going back to creative?
No. I mean, I'd played football for like 3 weeks. I got hit really hard by this kid, Robert Benedict. I'll never forget his name. No. This guy came in from California, and he was like the biggest kid in our school and like the meanest, toughest kid. He was kind of a bully, but like when you got to know him, he was like a really nice dude.
Yeah.
But man, he could fucking hit. We were in practice and we lined up and he hit me. I fell back. I saw stars. And then I was like, I don't like getting hurt. I don't like this feeling at all. So that was the end of my 8th grade football. It was really weird. Somebody asked me like in 9th or 10th grade, they're like, "Oh, I heard you made the baseball team." I was like, I mean, I practiced like a couple of days. Like, I just want to go out and play. I don't want to go out and practice and do all that work, which, I've always been that way.
Yeah.
I wasn't the smartest kid. Still not the smartest person in the room.
I doubt that.
But I mean, I was that kid that would sleep through class and then wake up and ace my physics exams. Like, my physics teacher, like, he hated that.
That you could just do it.
Yeah. And in biology, like science, I was always attracted to science. But yeah, I wasn't a scholar.
Yeah.
I wasn't a jock. I was just kind of like that dude hanging out in the corner. Yeah. I had a multitude of different friends in middle school and high school, like different cliques, different groups. So I've always been able to blend in with different people.
I imagine you get along with people pretty easily.
Yeah.
Again, the coolness and kind of like the ease.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting too. I learned this the other day, or rather, you use Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
I may sound like a crazy person. I feel like maybe I'm turning into my grandma as I get older, not physically, but like mentally. But there's a particular Aquarian Instagram thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not hardlined, but I like to have, maybe there's some methodology or rhyme or reason to this whole thing. And they said, Aquarians really know the critical path to getting things done in the least amount of work possible. And that is exactly what it sounds like, Charlie.
Believe that.
Dude, that we can just get it done and we're successful at it. And not because we're overly intelligent, but we just know, we kind of observe.
Yeah.
We just know where to go.
Yeah. And it's like I'm not a note taker.
Yeah.
Like I observe and I absorb things that way.
Absolutely.
Just by like being present and in the moment. I'm a procrastinator. I wait until the last minute to do everything.
Yeah, you took so long to drink this 18-year-old Glendronach. It's been in the car. I mean, how dare you procrastinate on that bottle?
It's been there for I hoard whiskey.
Okay, good.
I'm not a big drinker.
Oh, no kidding.
No. I mean, I can drink. I'm really good at drinking.
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's how it goes. We're good at it.
I mean, thank God, because I would be terrible at my job if I wasn't like at least somewhat decent at drinking. Right. Yeah. But I hoard whiskey. I have, like the typical bartender brand ambassador these days. Like I have my closet full of whiskey.
That's crazy.
Like a storage closet.
Yeah.
It's getting insane. Especially when you start mixing in all the POS and everything.
I know, man.
It's nuts. There's Woodford stuff everywhere in my home. and Woodford bottles and just whiskey from, the last, like, especially like over the last 5 years of bartending. Like, when you start to run programs and people are like, oh, here, try this bottle. And they just leave the bottle and I take a sip and then put it up,
Yeah. Well, it's a pretty good gig if you can get it, man.
Yeah. I like to think of it as my retirement plan.
There you go. That's true. Yeah. Selling it like an ounce and a half at a time.
Yeah.
Like from just some unknown gray market thing.
Oh, no. That's just what I'm going to drink when I'm retired.
Even better. Yeah. I was like, man, that could be a nice little honey pot you got going on.
I feel guilty about selling like sample bottles. I'm pretty sure it might be illegal or something. Maybe
who knows, right?
Maybe immoral, but like I don't like to sell. I don't want to resell the things that people have gifted me.
I completely agree. But I mean, that is one of the things, the generosity, there's a balance there. You want to give it as much, like, for instance, I want to share whiskey with you, and oddly enough, you want to share whiskey with me. It's nice reciprocity.
Yeah.
It's really good. Well, so you are doing good at school. You're not a self-proclaimed scholar, right?
No.
But you're getting stuff done.
I get it done.
And you're not failing out.
Yeah, I passed.
You're cool with people. People are cool with you. Yeah. So when it comes down to more advanced education, going into college and stuff, was there any expectation either from yourself or from your folks that that's what you were going to
do? Nobody really went to college in my family. My uncle went to the Air Force Academy and graduated. He had a scholarship. But yeah, nobody. My mom went to school later in life.
What did your folks do?
Excuse me, my dad's an air traffic controller. Was an air traffic controller. Okay. My mother was an RN, a nurse.
Yeah, my mom too.
Oh, right on. Yeah. Man. But yeah, it's aviation. My father, my uncle went to the Air Force. One of my uncles went to the Air Force. My other uncle was a ATC as well. My mom's dad, my maternal grandfather, he was an air traffic controller too.
Really?
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much like my mom, like the father-in-law, like saying, "Hey, son, come get into this," and then his brothers kind of fell in line. But I mean, my uncle Dennis, my dad's brother, he was Air Force all the way.
So there's lots of that.
Yeah, lots of aviation.
Yeah, a lot of aviation stuff. So does that mean make it like an easy path to go into that when you're done with school? Just thinking, I could just do that.
Yeah, I got in a lot of trouble. Like,
what kind of trouble?
I mean, I had addiction problems.
Yeah.
I didn't make some of the best choices.
Sure.
In the people that I hung out with, the people I dated.
Well, I'll raise my glass to that. We're just too cool. Man. It's just like, whatever.
But it was a rough point in my life from like 19 to 20. After I graduated high school, I never lived up to my potential, as my teachers would always say. And like I could have gotten to school, but I just didn't. It wasn't really interest me. Yeah. So I got a job delivering pizzas, and then I lost my license, and then I had to be a pizza cook and a cook. So that's kind of how I got started. Can
you still eat pizza having been around it so much?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's make it sure. That'd be like, that's that Twilight Zone episode. You're the last guy on Earth, and you love to read, but your glasses break. Yeah. Because pizza's so amazing. God forbid you smell it so much you don't want to eat it anymore.
No, never. No.
Okay, thank God.
No.
All right.
I could always eat pizza. I'm so hungry right now. But yeah, I mean, I started delivering pizzas, and it was really weird because in Iowa you could deliver beer, and so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't a good thing for me because it enabled me in a lot of ways.
Right, sure.
So I was 18, 19. I could just go up and be like, hey, let me get a 6-pack for this delivery, and I'm driving around drinking my 6-pack, delivering pizzas like, here you go.
I mean, it sounds kind of good.
Yeah.
Maybe irresponsible, but
it was very irresponsible. Yeah. Don't do that.
That's
Perry.
Terrible.
Yeah. If you ever listen to this, Perry, don't ever do what your dad did.
And there's no way you would let her.
No, never.
There's no way.
That kid, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like it's different when like you're a teenager and a young adult and you're growing up and you're like, oh, I'm gonna party my face off and make all these terrible decisions and do stupid things. And then like when you become a parent, you look back on it and it's like, what am I going to do when my kid starts doing that stuff?
Dude.
Yeah, I can't say, don't do that. That's bad, because like I want you to have those experiences and live your life. But at the same time, I'm like, don't hurt yourself. Please don't hurt yourself.
So I'll say this one word and hopefully it doesn't act as a trigger. Dating. See? That's the one I'm just right on.
Dating. That's back to the having a girl versus having a boy. Like
right.
Like dating is going to be so complicated. Like because if I had a son, it'd be like, yeah, go get him, son. Terrible double standard.
Right, of course.
But it's like like now I'm going to be watching I already do. Like I already do. I look at these little 3 and 4-year-old boys. There's just one kid that she goes to school with, and she thinks he's a good looking kid too. And he's really nice and polite, and I dropped her off at school and he said, Perry, you look so pretty today. She was wearing some sunglasses and she took them off and like batted her eyes.
Oh no.
God. No, I'm not ready for this. Oh shit. Yeah. So,
well, again, I don't envy you. I'm going to put that out there there. But I know that you'll be cool about it.
Yeah. I have no choice but to be cool.
That's a good point. But I'm sure you guys will get in great conversations and she'll develop into someone that has like, you know what I mean? Like good self-respect.
Yeah.
Make sure she's got standards out there.
Yes. That's my goal, is to kind of like really ruin it for every other guy. Cause every girl has father issues.
Oh, of course.
They're either good ones where like my dad was so incredible. Yeah. Like you'll never be able to be anything like him, and I'm gonna have such high standards, or they're on the other end of the spectrum.
Right. Again, dealt with both there too.
Yeah.
Some are more fun than others, I guess you could say. But not as I get older.
When you get older, you're looking for different qualities in a woman.
Yeah, that's right. So this trouble-laden era in Iowa, does it kind of give you the impetus to get the hell out of town, or was there an actual reason why you moved out of Iowa?
I got asked to leave by a judge. She highly suggested that I enter a program, and then upon completion of program, GTFO.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
So court mandated rehab?
Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah, how long do you have to do it?
30 days.
Okay, that's a lot, but it's not a whole lot.
I learned a lot though.
Yeah.
That was my third time going through a program.
Sure.
The first time, like I was so pissed off, like my dad kind of sprung it on me. My parents split up when I was like 14, 15.
Oh, okay.
And I hate to blame it all on them, but
it's a hard event to overlook, though.
Yeah. And when you spend most of your life going through, having two parents, and you think they love each other, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, mom's leaving. So my mom left.
Yeah.
Me and my sister stayed with my dad. And it was at such an impressionable point in my life where Yeah, I went down the wrong path.
Sure.
Yeah, not for my parents not trying. It was just me making my own terrible decisions. Yeah, and so the first time I went into a program, my dad said, "Hey, we're gonna go to some counseling." He dropped me off at the it's an outpatient program, and then I left. I got in there. He left me there.
Yeah.
I got in there and I walked out, and like I didn't come home for like a day or two. The second time, I think I wanted to go on my own. And then the third time was court mandated, but it was an actual inpatient. Like, I was taken away from everyone and everything I knew for 28 days, 30 days, whatever.
Sure.
And then, I learned a lot about myself. Yeah.
Man, is that process is I've never been in that situation, right?
Yeah.
And we all wrestle with strange things that happen in our life, whether they're depressive events, maybe divorce, maybe losing somebody, like all these things, grief. But ultimately, the inpatient rehab, that's a good place to be, right? It is a positive vibe. Like, it helps you overcome some things.
Yeah. I mean, you got to go into it with an open mind.
Yeah.
It's not going to work if you don't want it to work.
Sure.
I was at the point in my life where I was like, okay, I need a change.
Yeah.
And then I made a change. And then, it was a lot of self-reflection, like getting to really understand why you make terrible decisions and how not to make more terrible decisions. And, like pretty much you have to remove yourself completely from everything and everybody that you know. Yeah. And just get away from that. But,
well, it's hard because that's what you're used to. Like, it's how we're used to operating.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of just shake that up.
Yeah. And it didn't work.
No. Even after the third time, it still didn't.
No, the third time was not the charm. I got out and then I went home, packed up my stuff, and then moved back down to Dallas.
Yeah. Why Dallas?
My mom was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She came back to Texas.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, now we're all back here.
No kidding.
Yeah, we all kind of took our own time getting back here. My mom moved down here. I moved down here. My sister moved down here. Then my dad moved down here.
Oh, wow. So is that a good thing for you?
Yeah.
Have your own family?
The parents are close enough to where we can see them if we want to, but not close enough to where we're bugging them or bugging each other.
Or vice versa. Yeah.
Same thing with my sister.
Yeah. Well, so, we hadn't talked about exactly if this was narcotics or if this was alcohol and whatnot, but is it
everything?
Everything.
Yeah.
Well, so, I mean, I'm sure that you've got this stuff absolutely under control now. You've got a daughter. And all this, right? But I mean, how difficult is it? You know how they say immersion therapy is good? So you're afraid of snakes. So what you do is you throw someone in a pit of snakes.
No, no.
But you see what I'm saying? Where you're like in the bartending community and serving and slinging drinks and creating all the time. Yeah. Was that ever like a trigger for you to get back to that place, that dark place?
It was for quite a while. When I first moved back when I got back into Texas, like I had like 2 solid days where I was like, oh, I'm going to be sober. And I went to meetings and all that stuff. And then like it was the weekend and like I got on some online forum and some dude took me out and got me stoned and fed me a bunch of pills, got me wasted and back on it. And then, I had a really bad problem with cocaine for a long, long time, like 12, 15 years.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was off and on we had a really bad relationship. We had our fun times.
Of course.
But we had a lot of bad times. But yeah, I mean, that went on for a long time. I couldn't tell you the year, but I was back here. I was maybe 23, 24. Yeah. And I was in the middle of like one of my stints would blow. And I was working at Dave & Buster's, got fired. Got another job where I was making a ton of money. I only had to work 2 nights a week and I make $500 each night. And, that's all I did. But then I had all this time and free cash.
Idle hands, right?
Yeah. So that was really bad. Lost that job. And then, I got evicted and my car got repossessed on the same day. Like I woke up, went into the kitchen and like I used to have some turntables. I used to DJ a little bit. God damn, you know what I'm saying? 2 turntables and a microphone. 2 turntables and a microphone. But my roommate took those and as collateral because I owed her money. So I was like, what the fuck, you know? And then like all her stuff was packed out and gone. And then I go into the kitchen, or I go into the garage and my car's gone. She was just like, yeah, we're being evicted because you bounced 2 checks, and they came to get your car and I let them get it. So yeah.
Damn.
So that was like one of the lowest points of my life.
Does at some point, what's the point in where it turns around for you? Like, is there an event that makes you really like realize like, fuck, dude, I can't keep going down this path?
Not one specific event. Like it was a multitude of things. Yeah, a series of events happened. I met Kelly. She came into a bar that I worked at. I had a crush on her instantly. Like, I was like, yeah. And then she got pregnant and we had a kid, and that kind of shaped me up. I was like, okay, I got to be an adult now. So, yeah, Kelly's she's a really special woman. She's very straight laced. Like, she drinks. Yeah, but that's it. She doesn't do anything else. So that kind of really helped a lot. Like having like a straight laced person around me constantly that I want to be around.
You need that kind of calming and straight-laced presence to kind of keep you in that dynamic, keep you in that range, you know? Yeah,
she definitely helped. And then having a kid. Like, you shouldn't be a terrible person if you have a kid.
Although back to our earlier point, maybe
there are plenty of them out there, but I've always wanted to be a father. Yeah. I had a great father growing up, and I don't want to be a shitty father.
Yeah. Dude, when you think about addiction and kinds of you're wrestling with it and emerging successful, does it give you a sense of kind of obligation to help other kids perhaps that are wrestling with the same thing? Because you're surrounded by people that are both probably grounded, responsible, and chill, alike with people that are the opposite.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Like, I don't like to meddle in other people's affairs. Right. You know,
you don't like that? I love that.
Well, obviously, we're sitting here. No, I mean, I'd like to stay out of other people's business, and I'd like people to stay out of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I understand. Pretty private guy, then.
Yeah, pretty private. I mean, I'm an open book if you ask. Right. But I'm not gonna. I don't like to put my stuff out there. Yeah. But if we had this guy, we had a regular who was going through a really tough time at a bar I was working at, and it was actually at a bar in a hotel. So he was staying in the hotel. He was always a mess. He was always wasted. He was hammered. There was a few times where the hotel had asked him to leave because he tried to commit suicide a few times. Jeez. I mean, he was in a really dark place, and like nobody ever really took everybody was like, oh, I don't know what to do. Nobody ever took the time to be like, dude, are you okay? And I always kind of felt bad about that. But then one time I was like, he asked me for a drink, and I was like, you know, I think you might be good on that. Yeah. But if you want to talk about something else, then let's talk. And he didn't want to talk, but you know, it's when you're dealing with addictions like that, if you don't want to quit, you're not gonna.
That's a great point.
And if you tell me that you have a problem and you don't want to quit, I'm not gonna force you to. I mean, I'm gonna be there for you. Yeah. If you need somebody to talk to, or if you need the resources of someone to reach out to, but I can't change you. Yeah. You have to want to change yourself, and that's something I've always thought.
Well, I think that's smart to know that.
Yeah. That's something I learned in rehab.
Yeah. So, man, I was a massive Soundgarden fan. Yeah. Soundgarden was really one of the most formative bands for me. And Cornell's the late Cornell's wife was on like Today's Show or something yesterday, and she was talking about just that thing. She's like, you know, he's an addict. There was really not much I could do, but he was still a great person. Yeah. You know, and it's hard for us to wrap our heads around that sometimes.
And you know, I've always been a good person. Even when I'm doing, I've always tried to be a good person. Right. Yeah. We aspire. Let me backtrack a little bit. I've always tried to be a good person. I never really stole or like did any terrible things to get what I wanted. You know, I worked hard for it. Sure. For the most part. And
how's that long list of pedigree? You know, you're talking about Standard Poor, Last People Standing, Knife in Dallas, lots of different spots, a whole bunch, and even in a leadership position with the USBG North Texas. Yeah. has that chapter in Dallas and that kind of momentum, which I feel is built a successful career for you, at least the foundation of a successful career, has that centered you in some way?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I was a bartender for 15 years, but the last 5 years had the most impact on my career. That's when I made that shift from sling and ring bartending to the cocktailian.
Was it turn and burns at the other
turn and burns, sling and ring, whatever you want to call it? Yeah, the volume nightclub. Yeah, vodka sodas and Miller Lights. Yeah, and then I got a job at this place that it was another kind of low time. I got a job at this tiny little restaurant in Oak Cliff, South Dallas, called Campo, and like it was just a small little joint. An old house, and the chef was Matt McAllister, who now owns FT33, big deal in Dallas, incredible chef. But he was kind of consulting, and then we had Brad Henserling from Fort Worth, who was in consulting on the bar program, and I was working with a temp company, and the lady Roberta, she was like, "Hey, I have a permanent job for you if you'd like it. You know, it should be a really cool like farm to table with like legit cocktails." And I was like, "You mean they don't have sour mix and they didn't have a gun?" And I was like, "I don't know what to do." So I went in for my interview and I saw Brad like squeezing lemons and limes, and just that aroma, and like seeing him like put all this energy into prepping before anybody got there. I was like, "Man, what is this?" So like I got bit by the cocktail bug there, and then joined USBG. I went to Camp Runamuk.
Yeah. You mentioned Pam Wisnitzer way back in the day on Twitter.
Yeah. Pam's the homie. We met at Camp Runamuk.
Amazing.
Year one.
She's a lovely person.
Oh, she's amazing. She actually got me a really good job not too long ago, right before I got this gig.
No kidding. Was it American Airlines?
Yeah, with American Airlines. It would have been a great job had I not had a kid.
Yeah.
If I was a few years younger and not had a kid, because it was like I get to travel to New York for 5 days, but I love traveling.
Yeah.
And I love going to airports and like getting on a plane and going somewhere and getting off a plane and doing something fun and then getting on a plane and going back home. But when you get on a plane and then you stay in the airport and then you go to an airport motel right next to the airport and then sleep, wake up, and go back into the airport and not leave.
It'd be frustrating.
It was, and it was like JFK Airport.
Oh, dude,
I was there for like a month.
And it's like the terminal.
Yeah,
you remember that movie? Tom Hanks movie?
Yeah.
Eating mustard packets.
But I mean, it would like, it's like cool. I get to go to New York for a week, but like I got maybe 1 or 2 nights a week to where I could go out there, and it took an hour to get out there, whether you Uber, or take the train, or whatever. An hour to get back, and it just wasn't worth it. But P-Wiz is amazing. I love Pam.
She's great, man. No, this industry, brief tangent, but this industry is filled with people that are exceptional in so many different ways. And honestly, you can't get any other industry that has a more varied group of backgrounds than the hospitality industry.
Absolutely.
There is nothing in tech. No. It's pretty homogenous if you think about it. People, they got their degrees. It came from Ivy League, whatever. Law, same shit.
Yeah.
The hospitality industry is the richest fucking group of people, man.
So many incredible people.
And they're interesting.
I get intimidated, like not having any formal education.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I get a little bit intimidated being around some of these people that have like 1 or 2 degrees, master's degrees. Right. Like there are some incredibly smart people in this industry.
Totally.
Just intelligent, beautiful people. And I feel like I'm out of my league in some sorts, especially around people like that. Yeah,
but you're not. I mean, you hang.
Yeah,
you've got stories. You got a life. You've lived a life.
I've had a good life. Yeah, I have a good life.
I think it's one of those things that if you don't have experiences, then you become. It feels like you're more superficial.
Yeah.
But if you've been through some shit, good and bad, that's all that really matters, man.
True.
The greatest writers in the world, they're not always erudite academic types.
Nah.
In fact, those don't make the best writers.
No.
The guys that wrestled bears with their fucking hands. Right?
The guys that had 16 daiquiris in a single sitting.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite sounds in the world right here.
Here we go.
Oh, God, it sounds so good.
Yeah. All right. So, since this is a beautiful bottle that serendipitously I was just researching before you came over. Was there a moment in which being behind the bar, you squeezed everything, you poured everything, you worked at some of the best establishments, the most innovative in Dallas? Was there a point where like, okay, I want to step from behind the bar. I'm ready to move on.
Yes.
Do you remember kind of how that worked out?
I'll tell you, I went to Portland Cocktail Week a few times, and one of the years they have specific paths.
Yeah.
So one of them was,
I hope we were there the same year,
probably,
man. I bet we're in the same room at some point. Yeah.
But one of the paths was like beyond the bar.
Yeah.
And I sat through all these courses, listening to all these brand ambassadors talk about how rough it is to be a brand ambassador. Like, you're always traveling, you never get enough sleep, you can't take care of yourself. I came home from that and I was like, fuck, I never want to be a brand ambassador ever. But yeah, and then I'm starting to get older, and
Sure.
and those shifts, like being up late and then waking up at 7:30, 8 o'clock with a kid, like, hey, daddy, wake up. That was never easy. So there was definitely a point where I was like, okay, maybe I should find something else. Maybe I should go like supplier distributor side. So I applied. I got really lucky. Brown-Forman was looking for like a part-time brand ambassador for premium whiskeys, so I'd handle.
Nice.
And they just happened to be in my bar, and I was like, it always happens like this. Like, things fall into my lap. And
Yeah. That's Aquarian. I'm telling you, dude,
Aquarian.
Stuff just happens. It's a
I
beautiful
know,
thing.
the best things happen to me.
But that's only because we focus on those. But there's some shit that happens to us too.
There's a lot of shitty things that I went through, but sometimes the best things happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of worked out, and so I did that kind of part time and kind of got my toes wet. It was like 10 hours a week. Just go out and hit some accounts, talk to people about Brown-Forman's premium whiskeys. So this is before we acquired the scotches. So I had Jack Daniel's, Old Forester, and Woodford, which is like, for me, a perfect trifecta of whiskeys. Like,
dude, such a great trifecta.
Yeah. Like, you can't go into a bar that doesn't have Jack Daniels. If you don't have Jack Daniels in a bar, what are you doing? Turn off the lights.
Problem?
Yeah, like, get over yourself. And then Old Forester, it has like such a cult following.
Dude.
It's the first bottle bourbon, and then like Woodford Reserve is just like, God, I love it. I love it so much. Like, it's a good premium whiskey. So I did that for a while, and then I kept bartending on the side too, and then legal department at Brown-Forman got a hold of the fact that I was still bartending, and they did not like that.
Right.
Creates conflict of interest.
Sure.
So they dissolved my position, and then it was like a day or two after that I got fired from Knife too.
Jeez,
Yeah.
man.
And this is right before Christmas of 2016.
Yeah.
So yeah, then after that I was like, no, I don't want to bartend anymore. Like,
Were you, as they say, disenfranchised? Did you feel kind of like, fuck this shit, I'm out?
yeah, yes and no. I've been to that point a few times in my career where like I tried doing sales, like door-to-door Office Max sales, which I hated that. I did like 3 days of that. When I was younger, I worked in a candy store for like 6 months.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool.
It was amazing. Especially like I'm not a skinny person. I really love sweets.
Candy's good.
Yeah, it was a great job for a while, but then I was like, I kind of miss like talking to people, because it was in a mall in a small town in Iowa, Fort Dodge, Iowa.
Yeah.
And it was just this tiny little store. It's probably about the size of this room. It's a tiny little candy store, and like, it was so lonely. My dad worked across the hall at Zales. He worked 2 jobs.
Really?
Yeah. Or Gordon's Jewelers. Zales or Gordon's, one of the two.
The boys are back, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
But this is when my dad was single, and my dad when my mom left, he went through his midlife crisis. He bought a Corvette. He grew a ponytail out. Bald as fuck on top.
But he's got the ponytail.
But he had the ponytail in the back. We still give him shit about that.
He's cut it since we're
yeah. He cut it. He got out of his midlife crisis, and
my dad bought a Corvette recently too. This was not midlife, but just shortly thereafter. I mean, my folks are married, but like, what are you doing?
What do you need that for?
Drive that
what
thing?
Do you need that for? But I get it. Like, my dad's always been a car person.
Cool.
Yeah, we used to rebuild engines. Like my first car was going to be a 71 El Camino.
Oh, dude.
And we worked for like years on this engine. It was a small block Chevy 307.
Yeah.
And it sat in the garage, and every once in a while we go out there and tinker and just have our little bonding moment there.
Oh man, that's a good car to do it over.
The El Camino, yeah. Man, what happened was I stole that car. I didn't. I was trying to impress a girl. I was 14, 15 years old, trying to impress this girl, and I stole the El Camino because I knew if my dad
got some cachet, the El Camino.
Yeah. But I mean, like my dad had his Corvette, and then we had a Firebird, a Pontiac Firebird.
Dude, really? Black with the
No, it was green.
Okay.
It was like a 1970 Firebird. This car was, it had a V6 in it, but it was still like it sounded mean, and it had like a custom hood on top of like vents, and it was a dope ass car.
Dude.
But I took the El Camino because I wanted to impress a girl, and I drove it across this bridge. It's this big bridge crossing a valley, so like you're going downhill really, really fast.
Yeah.
And I'm like flooring it, going as fast as I can.
You topped it out.
My dad's gonna, if he didn't know the story now, he's gonna hear this and be like, "Oh, that's what happened." I was driving down this hill as fast as I could, and I hit like 110, and then all of a sudden I heard this ping, 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 ping.
Oh no!
And smoke started pouring out, and I was like, "Oh!" So I drove it back home, parked it, and then like, went about my business.
Nothing happened.
And so we had this engine sitting there, and then like the mounts wouldn't line up or something like that, so we had to. It sat for a long time, and we got rid of it. I don't know whatever happened.
But you were all right. You escaped unscathed.
Yeah, I escaped unscathed. But yeah, I forgot where we were going with that.
No, I mean ultimately it's talking about the mall days. You have this. You get out of bartending, but there's something that brings you back into it.
Yeah. It's the sense of community.
Yeah.
Like I love being around people. I do. I really do. But at the same time, I'm a very introverted person. But man, like I need those moments where like I'm talking to people.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I do. Does it fill your cup too? I use that term a lot.
Absolutely.
If I am too isolated, which is a good thing for both of us, I think, to have that time alone to think and plan. But if we're too far removed from people, then you start feeling lonely. But not in the fact that people really are a rejuvenating thing. And I mean that's one of the reasons, whether it's self-serving, guilty or not, right? Like I love talking to people, so this is one way that helps me get replenished in a sense, and never a bad gig on a great day in Austin to sip some Glendronach 18. I mean, yeah. Someone said, "Man, you live a really good life" to me the other day, and I'm like, "All right, well, I'm not going to admit it, but this is sure as fuck. This ain't sad."
Yeah. Our lives don't suck.
It does not suck, man. It does not suck.
Yeah.
Well, so Woodford comes back into your life.
Yes. So after losing both jobs, I did a lot of consulting, freelance work. I still kept in touch with Brown Forman.
Oh, cool.
In fact, I helped put on the Tastemaker Awards with them.
Oh, no kidding. The one in Dallas, the Culture Map one?
All of them.
Oh, shit.
Dallas, Houston, and
Austin, too?
Austin, yeah.
I had no idea.
I did all the drink strategies, came in, batched out all the cocktails.
Oh, that's great. Great event.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. We'll be doing that here again in April.
I'm going to bug you about that one.
Yeah, for sure. Remind me. But yeah, I kept in constant contact with them. I did some freelance stuff. I worked with Pam on a couple things, and she was like, "Hey, why don't you Americans looking for somebody to work for them?" And so I tried that out for about 3 months.
Sodexo? Is that what's called?
Sodexo, yes. Yes, Sodexo is a company that American hires to do all their Admirals Clubs.
Gotcha, okay.
So I was doing that for like a month and a half, and then I got wind that Woodford was looking for a brand ambassador full time, and I was like, "That's what I want to be doing. This isn't really working out. Like, I miss my family, I miss my community, I miss my homies, I miss my house. Like, I just miss everything about Dallas because I'm never there anymore." So I applied. Through a weird, like I applied, and then it got down to me and 2 other people, and one of those people just happened to be my neighbor who lives upstairs from me. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you have him killed?
No.
I've been watching murder mysteries lately. Sorry,
Wow. No, he's a really good friend, and I would hate for that to happen to him.
Of course.
He's a good dude. But yeah, it was. We had that weird, awkward moment before our final interview where he's like, "Oh, I have my final interview with Brown Foreman for this Woodford gig tomorrow," and I'm like, "Oh, me too."
Oh man.
So yeah, but it worked out. Yeah.
How long you been doing it now?
Since April. Or
Since
no,
April.
I'm sorry. Since August.
Okay.
The other month that starts with an A.
That's right.
Yeah. So mid August, I told Sodexo that I wasn't going to be working with them anymore, and then just switched right into jobs. So, and it's
Different change of pace for you?
It's a lot different. Whereas like American Airlines, I was still kind of bartending and training bartenders on how to bartend correctly. This was I still every day feel like I'm out of my element because it's marketing. I'm working with people that have tons and tons of marketing experience where I have none, but I have tons and tons of experience working with bartenders and people in general, and product and people. So it kind of balances each other out. I'm learning every day in this job so far. It's been a great 6 months so far. Looking forward to like another however long. I could do this forever.
Sure. Yeah. No, but I mean, you got good visibility. You're building a better, or rather expanding the brand that is Charlie, right? Which I think is an important thing. People may feel like it's a little bit selling out or superficial, but it's not, right?
No,
it's you come along with this brand, you know?
Yeah. The reason why I love the brand so much is because it's a reflection of myself too. Yeah. It's a very high end product. I'm not like a high end person, but like okay, Brown Foreman in general, they're a family owned company. Yeah. I'm very big on family.
Sure.
They've been doing it for a long time. I've been bartending for most of my life. Yeah. I seem to think I know a thing or two about bartending. And they know a thing or two about making and selling whiskey. So yeah, like it fits really well. Plus, I can drink Woodford all day, and then every once in a while, if I get tired of drinking Woodford, we got some killer whiskeys in our portfolio. Yeah,
does not suck.
It does not suck. Yeah.
Well, so I want to talk about one of the because I love Brown Foreman stuff. I can taste it a mile away, but that's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's like I can tell when Bono's singing. You just get that timbre of Woodford and Brown Foreman, in fact. I want to talk about the Prohibition 1920. That is a beautiful fucking thing. It's a good value.
Great value.
Great proof. It tastes lovely.
For 115 proof, it does not feel like 115 proof. And then also like the Jack Daniel's barrel proof.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't had that yet.
Oh man,
how is it? It's good.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's another one of those things where like it can get up into like 138, 140 proof, and you're like, oh, I can sip on this,
Yeah.
Like maybe with an ice cube. Because nobody's Superman, but yeah.
But how are these? Jack Daniel's it paves its way through Asia, man. There's in China. Let me get a bourbon. They pour me Jack Daniel's, everything, right? Like this is how entrenched it is. Woodford as well is becoming a little more luxury brand, which is great, but not snooty, not pretentious. But then you have these esoteric but intensely flavorful and delicious whiskeys. Like you get all the old the bottled and bond, 1845,
the whole Distillery Row series.
Yeah, dude. How do those do? Because those are really the unsung heroes of the portfolio. I think
they are. Like I don't work with Old Forester, so I can't.
Oh, you don't at all? Okay.
No. Now I'm just strictly Woodford. Yeah. But I mean, I still enjoy
label mates, I guess you could say.
They're our cousin.
Yeah.
Our brother, sister, whatever.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go to the double oaked.
Okay, double oak. Yeah.
Which it's amazing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can go through a lot of it.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I can too. Like with our core range, like I always like to start off with like a Woodford bourbon on the rocks, and then I'll have like a rye cocktail, and then with dessert is always going to be double oak on the rock or neat. It's just that good. And I'm a sweet person. Like I love.
You're so sweet.
Thank you. I love my sweets. So that one, it just has all these rich like butterscotch, caramel, vanilla flavors to it.
There's something. Do you ever read cherry in it? That's one of the things that it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly what that creamy caramelly cherry kind of thing is.
Yeah.
But there's some kind of like sweet fruit in there for me that's beyond just lactic.
Yeah.
And it's really a beautiful note, and it does well with the judges, man. It does well.
It's spectacular
in these competitions.
Like Chris is just Chris Morris, our master distiller, is such an innovative person, and the way that Double Oak came around, and it's like people were like, hey, you know, I love Woodford Reserve bourbon, but I want something for like special occasions. And Chris was like, well, I can make a new whiskey, but you're going to be waiting for 8 years, and by then you might not like whiskey anymore.
Right.
So what he did was the double barrel, or the double oaking. So the first barrel that Woodford Reserve goes into is going to be a heavily or lightly toasted, heavily charred barrel. The second barrel is going to be heavily toasted and lightly charred. So it brings forward a lot more of those butterscotch, vanilla, caramel kind of flavors. So, you know, instead of making a new whiskey, it's like, oh, I'll just finish it in this barrel and it'll be a different whiskey. Still Woodford Reserve. It still has the same character as Woodford Reserve. Yeah. Same backbone, but then it just that secondary aging just kind of highlights all those really intense sweet flavors. So,
and you guys have used some, I know, some brandy barrels. We talked about that. Yeah. They're Pinot barrel as well, I think.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's
taken aback by that.
Yeah.
But are you going to dive even more as Chris or whomever helps him here at the distillery? Are you guys going to dive into more of those interesting but yet really rich and different expressions?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Anything notable coming out? I mean, I'm sure all of it's notable, but anything strange coming out?
I mean, our Masters collection is what we do every year, and that's kind of our innovative, like, special release. I think the last year that we had was the Traywood smoked malted barley.
Oh, wow.
It was so fantastic. Before that was the brandy cask finish, and then a few years before that we had our Sonoma Cutrer Pinot Noir finish.
Oh yeah.
So being Brown-Forman, having our own cooperage, like we have access to any kind of wood that we want. You know, if Chris is like, hey, I want to do something in maple or I want to do something in cherry, we can do that. We get the trees and we have our own cooperage to make those barrels. So that's one unique thing that we have at our disposal. Like nobody else can say that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I kind of want this barrel.
Yeah.
And then they bring it like, no, it doesn't. No. Give me another one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, let me try something else here. Yeah. So, that's our Masters collection. It comes out. We're also expanding our portfolio a little bit here later this year. Cool. So stay tuned for some of those really cool things. We will have a cask finish coming out here in February. Ooh. Or I'm sorry, a cask proof or batch proof coming out in February, which I haven't got to try yet. So hopefully here in a couple of weeks.
I mean, imagine it's reminiscent of the 1920, right?
Yeah, it'll probably be kind of the same thing. Like I don't know if you know this, but Old Forester and Woodford Reserve have the same mash bill.
Same? Is it? Yeah. It's ultimately the same distillate, right?
No. Woodford Reserve uses pot stills, where Old Forester is going to be all column still. Yeah.
Oh, that's great to know, actually.
Yeah, and then we do use a little bit of column still mixed in with the pot still to kind of make Woodford Reserve.
Oh man, no, that's great to know.
Yeah,
actually.
But I mean, like pot still distillation is completely different flavor from you get column still.
Yeah, well, there's that. We could talk about the principles of distillation, but I don't normally get into it. But let's suffice it to say that I love how rich Woodford is.
Oh, me too.
And I think that if you use a barrel the right way and you use the char to your advantage instead of trying to cover flavor, you can enhance flavor. And I think that that's what the double oak does exceptionally.
Yeah.
And the price is great. And if there was something that rich with oakiness and at a higher cask proof, I think that you're talking about a fucking home run.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't get to make the whiskey, but if I did, that's something I would do. Yeah.
Well, you get to taste it, and I'm sure you get to leave whatever note you want.
Yeah.
I'm
so low on the totem pole.
Oh,
it's like
not.
They're like, Charlie, who is Charlie? Chris Morris is probably like, who is Charlie Moore? I've never met the guy.
They're like, let me tell you, Chris, I'm a philosophical guy. It's a brilliant thing, and I even know a couple of the family members, and it's a great family. And I'm a huge fan of Woodford, and keeps getting better every year. So I know. I can't wait to see.
I'm so happy to be a part of this brand. Yeah,
not so bad.
Yeah, like I like it, anything in the Brown-Forman portfolio, I'd be cool with, but like Woodford really sings to me. Yeah, that's something I really love.
All right, so speaking of things that sing to you,
I
got a couple questions left for you because you're actually on your way back to Dallas as we speak.
Later, I'm going to hang out in Austin for a bit. So,
that's a good move. Even though it's fucking terrible weather right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of singing, normally I ask this question in a more broader way, but I'm going to ask it in a musical way this time, and that I'm going to sing it because that'd be stupid. But you're sipping any of the Woodfords that you've got, your favorite, doesn't matter what it is, and you're at your favorite bar in the world, that also doesn't matter. But you can sit and have a conversation and sip some wonderful Woodford with anybody living or deceased that's a musician. Who would you love to just sit there, hang out with, and drink some whiskey?
That's a tough one. I'd say Prince, because I really love his music. Like I grew up a Prince fan, but he wasn't a drinker.
No, he wasn't.
No.
Obviously, he had other predilections.
Yeah, that wouldn't be much fun. God, like maybe either Jimi Hendrix or Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh,
I know. No, Stevie Ray. Yeah, because he's a Texan.
And he put it down. He put him back.
Like Little Wing.
Yeah.
The Stevie Ray version. Every time I hear it, I cry.
You love it still.
I don't know what it is about that song.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a specific memory tied to it. Like a lot of songs, like I can't listen to Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Because that's my grandfather passed away 3 years ago. It was around this time.
Yeah.
I think it might have either been today or tomorrow.
Wow.
But that song always reminded me of him, and every time I hear that, I bawl like it.
Yeah. We are emotional, aren't we?
Yeah.
We seem like we're not, but you'd get that right trigger. I'm like, why am I crying right now?
Yeah, but like there was one day Stevie Ray Vaughan's version of Little Wing came on the radio. And
great,
like it just hit me, and I could feel like everything he put into that song, like all the pain, all the sorrow, like all the like it's. I don't know, and he doesn't sing. There's no lyrics. It's just guitar. It's just the guitar saying something so beautiful.
Yeah,
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
I think that'd be great. I'm sure you would love whiskey too.
Yeah, he would.
Man, a lot of whiskey.
Plus, he's a Texan. So,
yeah, dude. Yeah. He's got the jazz patch or the jazz dot.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of good things going for him.
Yeah.
Did rest in peace.
R.I.P. Stevie.
So as we kind of wrap and we're talking about life and being an Aquarian and fucking fatherhood and all this crazy stuff and drinking the Glendronach 18, which again is just a serendipitous moment because I was just looking at this bottle online. Thank you for sharing. It's quite lovely.
I'm so glad. It's not a bad scotch.
It does not suck.
It does not suck.
And you guys are bringing it, or rather 18's out, but 15's coming back. And we'll talk about that off the mic. But do you see what your world is like after the brand ambassador thing? Do you think about starting a brand? Do you think about starting a bar?
It's like, I spent the last 15 years bartending, and that was kind of learning spirits and everything, mentoring and starting to mentor younger bartenders. And now I'm moving into this brand ambassador position with Woodford, and I'd like to work with Brown-Forman for a while, and then if they want to fund a distillery for me, that would be really cool. It takes a lot of money to start a distillery, and I don't have money. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having my own bourbon on the market or American whiskey. That would be really cool.
That'd be cool.
But man, my dream when I get old, when I grow up, I want to have we have a place in Dallas called Shell Shack, or Hook, Line, and Sinker. Let me do that. It's just like a fried catfish, like boiled crab. I want a joint like that on the beach somewhere in the Gulf where all I do is just sit at the bar, talk a bunch of shit, drink whiskey all day, eat crab, eat catfish, and listen to blues. Like,
jeez,
yeah, that's what I want to do.
God damn, you gotta make that happen.
Yeah,
take pictures so I get envious.
And on the beach too, like on the beach in the Gulf. That's my dream.
Not a bad dream at all, man.
Nah.
Something that seems actually pretty feasible too.
Yeah, I could do that. Maybe even in Mexico. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
As long as it's a beach, right?
Yeah, anywhere that's a beach. Just get me to a beach. That's my favorite.
Amazing, man. So I had no idea how this conversation would turn out, and I love that I never know.
Yeah.
But thick as thieves we are, as they said in Shawshank, dude.
I know.
Thanks for sharing the whiskey. Thanks for sharing your life.
Thanks for
learning about it, dude.
Thank you.
This
is really cool.
Hopefully, we'll get to judge whiskeys together soon.
I hope so.
We'll make it happen, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Thank you so much for sharing the Glendronach and the fucking Old Forester's birthday bourbon, dude. We started out with that. So anyway, brilliant to have you and Charlie. Keep in touch. Got to speak to you in Dallas, dude.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, there we have it. The man, the myth, the Dallas legend himself, Charlie Moore, at the ground floor as this cocktail movement emerged in Dallas. At least I consider him one of the forefathers. You have some other folks in there like Brian McCullough and Josh Hendricks, some people that have been on the show. But, there's this starting crew, this dream team that emerged in Dallas, and every city has one, as this cocktail movement just blows up and evolves. And it was great chatting with Charlie about his life, about his fatherhood, and about his family, and the kinds of things he's ran into, the kinds of trouble he's run into. I think it helps us all feel a little bit more grounded, more centered, because he can admit his transgressions openly and freely, and I think it inspires us to do the same thing. We all fuck up. We all are flawed, but sometimes we need someone that we look up to say these things. It makes us feel like we've got the cue finally to be just as transparent. So thanks so much, Charlie, for sitting down and chatting with me and sipping that delicious Glendronach 18. Have to love Woodford Reserve. This is not a commercial. Still one of the greatest bourbons, and I love the Brown-Forman barrel finishing. It is just delicious. So thanks, everybody, for listening to Show to V with Mike G. No matter how much Lagavulin 16 you plan on drinking this evening, or if you're thinking I can only watch so many more British cooking shows before I just want to fall asleep, please keep dancing.